Let's see.
What's up, everyone? How you guys and gals doing? Welcome to the show, man. We're live streaming everywhere, man. We're over on Rumble, Facebook. We're even doing TikTok right now. Hopefully, you guys are on TikTok. You can hear the feedback in the house. We're also on WMMRDB Rockford. We're going to be talking about how to put Brotherhood back into motorcycle club life. Black Dragon and Biker News Canada actually did an interview a couple days ago, and it did sound like, hey man, Brotherhood went wrong there, and all of a sudden a different club is getting reincarnated. What's up, BD? How you doing, man?
Hey, what's up with you? This is crazy. I think that I might actually be restreaming. Might be streaming on both. I think we were streaming on TikTok as well. We'll see if people actually are listening, but it might be working. Yeah, I think we might be double streaming here. Okay. So what's up with you, man?
Not much, man. You had a pretty good interview, dude. We're going to be talking about that in a little bit, and I know you've had some, because what I've been seeing lately, a lot of places, a lot of people are having a lot of issues in the MC scene with Brotherhood, man. And you figure that was what it was originally about. Why people wanted to join it was because of Brotherhood. And it seems it's not going too good out there, man.
Well, yeah, they've had their Brotherhood break down. And you know what? Clubs do this to themselves. Clubs do this to themselves. That there is a situation. So you want me to go into it right now? Is that what you want, or what do you want to do? How do you want to do
it? I actually got an article that we're going to cover with that, because it's been all over the Canadian press. Canada is a lot different than the United States when it comes to clubs, man. Mm-hmm. It's like a soap opera in Australia, New Zealand, Canada. They're always putting the clubs up on front news page. So you know what? Let me get into this real quick. We got some news coming. You got both of us that do biker news, man. So I figured it'd be pretty cool for us to cover a story together. Out of WTOV 9 Fox, annual poker run raises funds for Shriners Hospital. For the kids, man. That's always awesome. We never really get to do any good biker news, because everybody out there, man, is if it bleeds, it leads. We do 10 million stories when it comes to bikers doing good, and nobody will watch. Isn't that true, VD?
Oh yeah, we can do 10 million stories of bikers doing good, but nobody will watch. And so so they always tell us, you guys don't never do any good biker news stories, but hey, when we do, nobody watches.
Right? And what are we doing here, man? Just giving away a time. Anyway, Ohio County, West Virginia, the Legion of Honor, Oshaya Shrine, and Roughnecks Motorcycle Club hosted their 11th annual poker run to support the Shriners Hospital for Kids. The Shriners is mostly a Masonic type of deal, but it's cool seeing others out there helping out them kids. They're real known for their burn units and stuff like that. And I guess this is a event that's a long-standing tradition in the Ohio Valley. So the Roughnecks Northern Panhandle chapter co-hosted the event. The group is a nationwide public safety club consisting of active and retired military, law enforcement, EMS, and corrections personnel. They did a good deal there, raising all kinds of money for those kids. But what do you think about that, dude? That we try to do some good biker news, but if we do it as a standalone story or a standalone video, it's not well received.
It's kind of like when you're in a motorcycle club and everybody says they want a clubhouse, right? And then when you get the clubhouse, nobody wants to pay for it. Nobody wants to stand duty. Nobody wants to do anything. People tell us they want us to cover good motorcycle club stories. And when we cover good motorcycle club stories, They don't really want to see them. Everybody, if it leads, it bleeds. Everybody wants to see the tough stuff. Everybody wants to see who got shot, and it's a culture. That's the culture that we're in. So, hey, that's the way it is.
You know what's funny is I guess that it's a soap opera everywhere, man. Not only in Australia, Canada, and all that type of stuff, but you can also say here in the United States, because that's what they want to hear is people going that route. But I figured this story could lead into the interview that you and Biker News did. And I thought you did pretty good, man. You did a lot of pressing questions. You pressed back on some of the answers. I really liked the interview style of Black Dragon on that day. Good stuff right there, man. But this is the story that's leading into everything here. No, I don't want to follow you. London Free Press by Dale Carruthers, former Hell's Angel member, relaunches the Satan's Choice. They used to be the second largest club in the world. And I think it was during Ma Boucher's reign is how he got them to flip. And, most of Canada is nothing but Hell's Angels up there. And that could be because Satan Choice went with them too. I know the Popeyes did. They had a lot of freaking good clubs up there that flipped. And they're saying his father founded the club in 65. I've heard, he's a president of one, but we'll let Black Dragon answer that one. Goes on to say, former member of the Hells Angels says he has revived an outlaw motorcycle club his father founded decades ago and grew into the second largest in Canada. Harley Giddin, an entrepreneur. I always like them, man. And the former president of the Brooklyn, Ontario chapter of the Hells Angels announced on social media this week he is relaunching the Satan's Choice and has plans to open chapters across Canada, including in southwestern Ohio. It's going to be interesting to see how the Hells Angels are going to look at that. And I guess the move came as a surprise to some other outlaw motorcycle club observers, including one Canadian organized crime expert who warns it could lead to violence. Then it goes into who they were, all that kind of stuff. But we'll let BD get more into that because he actually interviewed the guy.
Yeah. So interesting story. Absolutely an interesting story. And it's a Brotherhood broke down story. Absolutely. So, yeah, if you go way back to the actual club was started by another man. And they were having trouble fighting off a big club, and about seven clubs all banded together. But the guy Bernie Bernie Gwindon is the guy who restarted the club. So he's not the founder. The club shut down, and he restarted it and patched the old guys in, and they basically were going against a club that was so badass. It took 7 clubs to come together to whoop up on these guys, and they were going back and forth and all this, that, and the other, and it was huge. It was huge back then, and but eventually the half of the club went to the Outlaws, and the other half of the club was patched over by force, I'm told, into the Hells Angels, and it was like that from 2000 until recently. And
so under Ma Boucher's reign.
I'm not sure who the Hells Angels is. That who he was? The one that did all that. You would know that, but under his reign, it was like that. So Harley Gwindon, an interesting guy, absolutely built his reputation on his own steam. His father is kind of like, and I've heard it said many times, he is the Sonny Barger of Canada, especially in the Oshawa area. Very small place, very small town. A lot of tough ass people come out of there. This Bernie Gwindon guy built his bones on his own, put together his, he put time in the prison system and all of this kind of stuff. And he's one of those professional fighter dudes. I heard he had 41 fights, never lost a one fight. Anyway,
Like a Joe, hell yeah, Rocky Marciano up there, man.
Or yeah, something like that. And so he built his own shops and stuff. He's got a lot of money up there doing big things. Became a leader in the Hells Angels. Went all the way up to sergeant at arms or VP, if I remember. But problem came. And Hardwire said once a club is absorbed, it's gone. To bring it back is an insult to the club that absorbed them. You can't do that without picking them off. Well, it was done as an insult. It was not. It was absolutely done as an insult because he felt insulted. So he takes leave from the club because his father, who is a legend, has Alzheimer's. So he's got to take leave of the club. Alzheimer's or the other one. The other one. What's it called? Dementia.
Dementia.
Yeah, it's either Alzheimer's or dementia. He had one of those problems. So he takes a leave from his club to it was 41-0. He would be in the UFC. Stop giving off false. If he was 41-0, hey, whatever, man. That's what I heard. I can only say what I heard. And
yeah, we can only go by what's being told to us. It's not information. We're just coming out
giving off false information. It's what I heard. Hey, thanks for following me, Rick, over there on TikTok. I appreciate that. So he's and listen, there's going to be a lot of people in your feed. No, not everybody's on Harley's side. So there's going to be a lot of people on your feed that are against him. This thing he's doing is
well, it's controversial.
First of all, he's doing it on the internet, and everybody's pissed off about that. And
now let me ask you about that, Black Dragon.
No, hold on. Let me finish real quick. So he goes to he goes to take this leave, and when he takes the leave to take care of his father, when he tries to come back into the club, two individuals whom he names stood against him coming back, and which he felt was very disrespectful. And those guys wouldn't let him come back, and it was upheld higher up the chain. So it is these two guys that he hates, and for whatever their reasoning was that they wouldn't let him go back, eventually he found himself out bad. He left out good. He started running his mouth on the internet or whatever. He found himself out bad. And when you're out bad, you have no voice. And if you have no voice, and then I think he said that his father is out bad. And he says, so if my father dies, after everything my father did, if my father dies, he doesn't get a funeral. This is what he said on Bob's show. If my father dies, he doesn't get a funeral. And my father already told me a long time ago, because I was going to ask him, if your father has dementia, how can he give you his blessing to start the club? And he says, my father gave me his blessing years ago to start the club back up. And if my father's going to get a funeral, if my father died today, he'd get no funeral. All the stuff he's done for the Hells Angels, he'd get no funeral. So I'm going to make sure he gets a funeral. He's going to get a Satan's Choice funeral. And I am talking on the internet. I am talking shit. I am mad. I am angry. All I want to do is fight these two guys, and neither one of them will fight me. So he's taken to the internet. Hey, if you're out bad, you're a civilian, you have no voice, the club won't. I know this shit firsthand. If you're out bad.
Yeah, you know this firsthand, man, with what you went through.
You have no voice. No one hears you. You can't say anything, but he has a voice. He's got hundreds of thousands of followers on, like me, hundreds of thousands of followers. So, you can get so big, the club can't take your voice. And that's what he's, so the Brotherhood is broken down, and he has decided to, what I tell clubs all the time, he's decided to walk with his feet. There's some people who walk with their feet. They decide to vote with their feet. Some people who vote with their feet have the ability to go out there and do some more shit. And so you create your worst nightmare by not compromising with people, especially people that have the ability to do other things. So that's kind of in a nutshell, real quick, 4.5-minute version of what's going on.
Now, can I add something real quick on a different subject, BD? I'm going to answer this right here. Sinister, let me explain something to you, because I know there are, a lot of haters and all that kind of stuff that get into, and I'm not saying that you're a hater or whatever it is. So we can say anything you want if you say it's what I heard. One thing that a lot of you new people do not understand is we report on biker news. We'll take all sides of the story, all of it, and we're going to put it out to you. And if it's something we heard on the streets or it's something we heard in the media, we're going to put it out there and let you to decide. And we're one of the only 2 platforms that allow clubs to contact us to put their side of the story out. That's why they come to us to get their side out. They're not going to go to Fox News. They're not going to CNN. They're coming to us. And to say that Black Dragon is just making something up, no, that was actually told to him during the interview, and I suggest you go and watch the interview.
And over 40 people that have called me from that area, over 40 people who have called me from that area since two Fridays ago. Yeah, it's, I feel like a Oshawa historian. not that I'm that by any means, but the Oshawa, Ontario people have been calling and emailing and texting left and right. Since I just picked up since I opened up an article and read it online, all of a sudden hey, Biker News Canada had 1,200 people watching this video live.
It was a huge story.
It was a huge story, especially up there. So yeah, there's a lot of people that are pissed off about it, but he has got a following that's out of this world as well. And he picked up 110 members in 10 days of other chapters, other clubs and stuff that he's patched over. It could absolutely be a melee up there. It could absolutely be one of the craziest things you've ever seen.
But I'm going back to, because they were bumping on you because, well, if I hear it, it must be, come on.
I saw the bullshit. I saw it. So what? You don't like it? Do your own research. Put up your channel, and I promise Hollywood and I'll go watch it.
Oh, yeah, we'll go We'll point out some stuff like there because there's a million people that want to do biker news now, and they don't have any idea what the hell they're doing, or connections like that. Now, let's get to the title of how to put Brotherhood back in the motorcycle club life, because this is a perfect example, like you said, when people get mad, they'll walk with their feet. They'll walk out on
with their feet. They'll vote with their feet, absolutely.
So how are clubs going to avoid? Because we've seen a lot, ever since the internet, man, we've seen a lot of freaking sour apples out there where guys are starting their own thing.
And something, Hollywood, if just because he's 41, if he was 41 and a 0, he'd be in the MMA. There's a lot of people that don't go to the MMA. The way the MMA works is they make all the money and the fighters don't. So there's a lot of people that go to other places than the MMA. The MMA just happens to be the biggest game in town, not necessarily the best.
Well, that's where he was misinformed, because that record 41-0 was in boxing, not in MMA.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
That's a whole different thing. So when somebody throws out, well, if it was 41-0, he'll be in the MMA. Well, right there shows your ignorance, because he was a boxer, not a martial art fighter.
Yeah, so there you go. So people will vote with their feet. Getting back on the subject. I'm sorry, I was in my feelings for a minute. Getting back to the subject.
You know what, though? I'm glad you're getting into your feelings, because I think your interview style is getting better. Meaning, you're not out there afraid to push the boundaries and push to get the answers that you need. Now, a lot of people will call that aggressive interviewing style, but I just call it, hey, it's an interview, man. You want to, we wish our own media would push back on some claims out there, and you've been doing that, man.
Well, when I first came on, I was the nice guy. You used to call me up for hours and rag on me. I can't believe you didn't cut his throat. And you get tough in the game. You get tough. I stopped trying to be liked by everybody. You get tough in the game. And if you really want to deliver good news content, and I tell you what, some of the toughest interviews I've done and some of the people that hate me the most will call me up and say, man, at least I appreciate you because you were fair, and you delivered both sides of the story, and that's what I'm supposed to do. Hey, Brian Thomas says, hello, Black Dragon Hollywood and everyone in the chat. Good to see you, man, over here. We are, for the first time, simulcasting on TikTok and on our other platforms. So we're just checking this out to see how it works, and pretty excited for all the people that are logging in and everything. So I appreciate you all. Go on, Hollywood.
I don't think TikTok likes me, man, because they just put my live stream. It's you got to put it to they're restricting it to the age or something like that. I don't know. But it happens.
Crazy, man. That's crazy. We ain't even talking about nothing.
I'm telling you, man. Yeah, man. You went through something similar.
Yeah.
And everybody knows because it played live on the internet. And because that did kind of confuse me when he came out and says, yeah, man, I'm doing this because of two individuals. I'm putting them out on blast, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, man, there is a lot of anger in a lot of people. And that's why we're seeing a lot of support for clubs go down. But how would you went back if you could go back in time and say, you know what? Why did you go on Hollywood's channel, make our club look stupid? Why didn't you come to me? Why can't we have a sit down? Let's put the Brotherhood back into the Brotherhood.
Well, because, if I could go back to that time, I was very angry. There were a couple guys in the club, and, like he said, he was down to a couple dudes he hated. There was a couple guys in the club. It happened to be the national president, whom I raised like a son and taught everything he knew. And to have that guy turn on me and cut my throat for a motherfucker that only been in the club for 6 years. And that person never kept his word about anything. You know him, Hollywood. His name was Hardcore. And how many times did he call you up during the week or 2 weeks before you did the interview with him? And how many times did he tell you he was going to be on that show?
He was going to be on the show, and 10 minutes before the show, next thing you know, he had something to do.
And he orchestrated the whole damn thing. He called you up. He called everybody up. And this guy named Hardcore, his name is Derek, piece of shit. He does all this, and I don't have to. I wasn't on the phone with you. I didn't know that he called you up 50 times. I didn't know he orchestrated that whole thing. I didn't know he was telling you line by line what he was going to do. I didn't know he was sending you our bylaws. But how did I know? Because I knew what kind of a piece of shit he was. And so, just like it, just like Derek Belcher, Hardcore, just like him, at the last minute, he abandons the ship. So the national president, then he backed out. And then all you had was these idiots and these drunk men. Their leaders were gone. They didn't want to come on the show. And so then the idiots had to come on the show and make our motorcycle club look like the most, and all those people, you saw these people on the show, none of those people had been involved with the club most of those people hadn't been involved with the club for more than 10 or 15 years. They dug these idiots up, gave them their 10 minutes of fame. They're drunk, high, talking on the show. I'm just shaking my head no.
You got a Brotherhood that brings a lot of people into the club scene or want to get it.
There's the normal human things that break apart clubs, break apart relationships, break apart everything. Their Brotherhood loses to jealousy, envy, political and personal agendas. It ends with people who are very silver-tongued. They've never done nothing, but they can convince you that the people who have done everything are worthless. Oh, he's out of touch. He doesn't know what he's talking about. That was back in his day, but now things are different. People listen to that. It's beautiful. It sounds good. It makes great stereo, but it means nothing. And at the end of the day, where are those idiots now? Our entire motorcycle club is kicked off the East Coast. All the chapters disappeared. Chapters that took years to build, gone.
Do you think the problem with when this kind of stuff comes up is because the club, especially the sergeant at arms, does not enforce the bylaws as they should be enforced for
Oh, well,
everybody.
listen, they get these sergeant at arm kids that don't know shit and don't listen, can't learn, and, or everything is in a title. So if a national president comes to you and says, "I need you to be my sergeant at arms. We got to get rid of Black Dragon. He's doing very bad things in the club." That kid doesn't know what the fuck a sergeant at arms is or is what he's supposed to do. These guys are masters at warping the club and then the other thing that is really crazy. Motorcycle clubs are full of alpha men, but when you see an alpha become a beta, so if you got 20 alpha men, some of them will be betas. There'll be alphas that are more alpha than the alphas. So you watch these tough ass hardcore dudes talking about, "I don't want to make any noise. I don't want to make any noise. I don't want them to not like me, that they don't like you, Black Dragon." Whoa! You were the toughest guy in the club. You were around slapping the prospects around, and you were the toughest dude I've ever seen. Now you can't take peer pressure? Man, some of these guys disappoint the shit out of you. I think I see you, Biker Guru. Love you, man. I'm glad you got back home safely. I watched your trip across the United States. I watched you do everything. I watched you on the side of the road, and I cheered with you the whole time, Biker Guru. Dean, you have done an amazing job. Former submarine brother, you've come a long way from hot racking in the torpedo room. You have a beautiful home, a beautiful wife, beautiful children, and you're holding it down as an independent biker. I really appreciate you out there, Dean. And if you guys don't know, check out Biker Guru on Facebook, and he's also on TikTok. Hundreds of thousands of followers, and he's your biker dude. Not in a motorcycle club, but he's the biker dude that gives the biker wisdom. He's the Biker Guru. Hardwire. Every club that starts and likely has ever started was because someone wanted to bring back Brotherhood or their vision of Brotherhood until the club becomes its own monster. Hardwire 1%'er's right. Hardwire 1%'er's right.
You truly look at it, and that's why it surprises me with a lot of clubs where, they start off in a year, next thing you know, they want to go national and international, and what they don't realize is a lot of these clubs that you see with that kind of presence did it over 70, 80 years. Yeah. So what they do, instead of building a brotherhood, they're just ripe for politics and BS because they want to rush to get all these people, and it's not a brotherhood at that point. Did you freeze up,
that's crazy. Somebody's calling me from prison.
Somebody's calling BD from prison. It happens, man. I used to get that too. Glare, the young essays have seen too much Sons of Anarchy. I agree with that. I think you should be, especially in a bigger club, you have to be around years and years before somebody gives you that kind of position, because it is one of the most important positions out there, the sergeant at arms, because he's the keeper of the bylaws, man. And
that's crazy, man. Somebody's calling me from prison. They've got a story. They're calling me collect from prison. That's crazy. And so you guys know, people call us with their stories. They call us from fucking prison. And Hollywood, this is what has happened with us, man. We're continuing to work, and we're working in the community. I don't know what to I don't know what to do. I guess I got to tell them to call me back when I'm not on the show, but that was crazy. The only reason I took it is because it was a weird looking phone number.
Well, if you want, put your phone number out there and let's get some feedback from everybody in the chat room. If you want to call in, call BD's number, because he knows how to work it with the StreamYard stuff.
404-692-0336. I'll put it up on the screen. You guys can call in if you want. Now, my TikTok people, you guys can. There's no way. Wow, there's no way I can. How can I put the TikTok people on?
We're gonna have to learn with TikTok how to do everything.
Check this out. So if I share screen, This is crazy. Can we share screen double? So if I share screen, oh, I can't share screen on yours, can I? Yes, I can, because you can let me do it. So watch this. If I share screen double, this will be kick booty if this works. Okay. Here's my TikTok live studio. So if I share that, boom, can you show that? Ah!
Yeah.
It almost worked.
Yeah, you're getting double feedback through it. But let's put the number in the chat room, and if you guys want to call in, give us your thoughts. Anything that we talked about so far today, you can bring up. Just don't swear, any of that stuff. I already got 2 restrictions on TikTok. I didn't even say anything.
I've been cussing. I'm sorry. I have been cussing. And it hasn't messed with my TikTok yet.
Yeah,
CJ Phillips, submarine buddy. What's up, my man? I love you, bro. I got Biker Guru and CJ Phillips on here. The submariners are in the house. Sorry.
Why don't you add freaking Biker Guru in here, man? Tell him to call in.
Biker Guru, yeah. 404-692-0336. Here, let me put it in the comments here.
In the meantime, Harley Skunk, that is very true. Bond and tow is part of my program when it comes to people working with me in this. I want to make sure we have enough money to get the ride and them out of jail. Glare, man.
Glare subscribe for 4 months. Thank you. Member for 4 months. Thank you, Glare, for whichever one of us you're a member with. Insane Will's on the 1s and 2s. Good to see you, Insane Wills. This is crazy, man.
He wants the link, so throw him the link in there, man.
Who? Yeah,
Mikey.
Oh yeah, Mike doesn't have control. Oh no, I guess Mike still has control of my screen. What's up, Cheese? Thank you for the heart, Cheese. Earl the Pearl, thank you for the heart. We are like double, triple living here. We've never done this before, so we're on TikTok.
Oh, we're on the radio station too.
Facebook and the radio station. We're just like multicasting here. And to have I had like 50 people on here. So keep hitting the likes. I've never done this before, but it's kind of fun. So anyway, Hollywood, the Brotherhood. So how do you bring Brotherhood back to the motorcycle clubs? And the first thing you got to do is you got to bring the respect back to the motorcycle clubs. The respect level is gone. It is just changed. That we hate our brothers now. We envy our brothers. We are mad at live restricted contains themes that some may find uncomfortable.
See,
reason, harassment, and bullying. Yeah.
How are we doing that?
I don't know.
Hold on, we got somebody that wants to come in. Let's see here. How you doing?
I'm doing okay. A little upset I kind of missed church today, but I was supposed to DJ, but obviously they didn't want me that bad, so whatever. No biggie. No sweat off my boobies.
Rock on. So who are you? What's up?
I am Skunk Water. That is my calling. That's what I live and die for, is the name Skunk Water. Here pretty soon I'm going to have it as my last name. And it started out as a little dream about a little mobile bait and tackle shop. Hunting, boating, camping, and fishing supply shop on wheels. And this was before COVID. This started back in 2016. And then my entrepreneur mind blew out. And I've got several other endeavors that are branching off of that. Like I've got I'm not going to go into them because I don't want any more of my ideas stolen. Because as soon as I preach it out there, that I know they can't take Skunk Water because I've got documentation way back when, and I was in a parade back in 2016. So yeah, it's mine. Nobody can take that. But the other ones, they might be able to swap from me. So
what in the intellectual properties do we have going on here?
Oh my goodness gracious! Oh, I love my job. Go ahead, though, man. Go ahead.
Brotherhood and motorcycling is, I thought, what we were talking about here.
This has to do with brotherhood and motorcycling. I was raised by bikers, and I want this to be for people that are lone wolves and don't have a purpose. To be able to give them their purposes back.
Right. What's your favorite strain of weed?
I don't smoke weed. It messes up my brain. I don't. It interacts with my brain wrong.
Yeah, we can't do that on TikTok. Let's move on to something else.
Hey, we appreciate you coming on the show, and we're gonna keep moving along. It's nice to meet you, Holy Skunk.
Later.
Amen. Is that
hell just happened?
What's up?
Anyway.
Okay, hold on. We got somebody on. Can you hear him? What's up, man?
How are you guys doing tonight?
We're doing good. Hollywood, can you hear this?
Yeah, I can hear it. Turn it up a little more.
Okay, what's up, man? Who we got here?
You know who I am, Black Dragon. Come on out, Prez.
I can't see everything, so yeah, just do me the favor for the show to introduce yourself. Hello. Hello.
We're in one of them Twilight Zone moments, man.
I hope I didn't disrespect them. I can't see everybody. Okay, moving on.
Let's see here. That's why the old clubs had elections, because fighting internally was the normal. I don't know, man. It's become more cliquey, if you ask me, when it comes to club politics, because, you debate elections, kind of like the Democratic Party can. That's the way it happens with...
yeah, the Republican Party can too, and so can the Whigs and the Independents. Everybody bakes elections. And that's what we got to get away from, that shit. Where we do it in the clubs now. We've done it in our own personal politics. Like nobody is like anti-American. Everybody is here. You just don't like their politics. They don't like your politics. People that don't like each other's politics, we turn the other side into goons. Hey, pretty soon we're going to be shooting people in our own country. Everybody thinks they want that. Just look in Gaza right now. Nobody wants that shit.
Thanks, man. You just gave me another restriction on TikTok.
What did I do?
You're talking about that. We can't talk about that stuff on here.
Well,
you know what's a really good topic?
What's that? Hey, somebody, what's a good topic?
I think you spoke on this before, but the new members coming into the club and outvoting the older heads have been around for way too long.
Okay, something's up with your sound.
Because how we're merging everything.
Because you're doing what?
I said I think it's because how we're merging it, because you guys are on the radio and then doing the TikTok at the same time.
So no, something's wrong with your sound, because you come in good and then you fade out. So are you on a microphone?
How about now?
Yeah, now you're good.
Okay, so what I was stating is like similar thing that kind of happened to you too, because I'm 10 seconds from California, same club as you.
Okay.
So what I'm saying is like when we have our older members that's been around and been on the street, put in their time, and then we get these new prospects in that move in, and then they want to start voting us all of us out and start taking our positions, and then like you guys were talking about Sergeant at Arms, you get some of these new prospects in and get a flash on their badge, and they think they know their politics. They haven't been on the street long enough to be a Sergeant at Arms.
But how did they get there? They went over the bylaws. We're talking about our club. They went over the bylaws and around the bylaws and decided to do whatever they wanted to do. But you know how they got away with it? Because Good Brothers sat around and did nothing. Because Good Brothers sat around and did nothing while those guys became creeps.
Well, it took me 6.5 years to be a Sergeant at Arms.
Yeah. I know who I'm talking to now.
China Doll in the house. Who am I talking to? I'm like over here, like, what the hell?
Yeah, yeah. So we're bringing people in on both sides. So he was saying that yeah, we get these guys that get into officer position. You know, you're talking about the brotherhood of the club. The brotherhood of the club breaks down when the morals, the norms, all the stuff starts breaking down. The bad people rise to the top and they destroy the clubs. But what's really crazy about it is everybody sits around and watches them.
Mm-hmm.
You know what they're doing. You can't do in the bylaws, but you're afraid you'll be next. Hey, when these people rise to power, they're good. They get the power and they destroy the club.
We got another guest, Black Dragon. His name is Gage Ray. Hopefully, we don't have a Twilight Zone moment here.
Check it out.
What's up, Gage? Who are you and what's up?
Dude, what's up? How you guys doing? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right, right on. So I hang out with some guys from, I don't know, Christian organizations, associations, guys from recovery groups and stuff like that. And I don't know how their stuff is structured, but I feel like riding clubs and some other stuff. I don't know, something has to change with the structures to prevent dictatorship, because then you wouldn't have the same, I don't know, kind of stuff that guys call on all the time that, I'm getting put out of my club for no reason. Old heads getting put out of their club. That stuff's pretty wild. People put in a lot of time and effort to get to those positions. That's pretty crazy. So it'd be nice to see a cultural shift at some point where structures of these clubs change, something like that. But I won't keep you guys so you can get on with somebody else that really knows what's up. So,
hey man, thanks for being on though. Yeah, that was cool.
All right, awesome. Hey, you guys take care. All right.
So, buddy.
To address what he's talking about, I mean, I don't know how you stop dictatorships. They happen in every corner of the world and everything. I don't know how you stop it. I don't know how you stop it in motorcycle clubs. I can tell you this. You got to stand tall. You got to be willing to be thrown out on your ear. You got to be willing to stand tall against oppression, against the bullshit. You can't just believe anything somebody tells. Oh, that guy's he's no good. If you can't believe that stuff. Thank you for following Bubba Dawson. You got to find a way to stand tall, man. Because if you don't, you lose everything you're doing. What happened?
Clubs function best as dictatorships as long as you get dictators that have the right intention. What's your thoughts? That's from Hardwire.
Hardwire is right. I mean, you see it in a lot of 1% motorcycle clubs. They do have dictatorships, but they have strong consequences for a dictator that goes hog wild. Sometimes a dictatorship is righteous if the dude is righteous. Unfortunately, he's often followed by a non-righteous dude. So it is a dictatorship doesn't have to always be the worst thing. He's absolutely right. Absolutely 100% right.
You bring that up, but at the same time, is that what people joined was to join under a dictatorship? Because if that's the case, where's my money?
Some dudes do, especially if they're coming into a dictatorship.
I'm taking orders from somebody.
If you're coming into a club that has a dictatorship and that's the club you joined, then yeah, you joined a dictatorship and you knew it. Yeah.
Interesting. Get the graybeards to sift the recruits. I don't know, man. A lot of graybeards are leaving the scene now, man.
Well, having graybeards sift the recruits, nobody would come in the club. You couldn't get it because they're looking for people to be just like them. Graybeards are just as screwed up as everybody else. They want a club that's never going to change. And I'm sorry, if people start riding Star Wars motorcycles that fly through the air, the culture's going to shift. If people start riding live wires, the culture's going to shift. But nobody's riding a big 1,000-pound bagger with backpacks on the back, sleeping rolls. Nobody's sleeping out underneath motorcycles in the rain anymore. They don't particularly find that fun. Maybe they want to go to the new resort or whatever. So, graybeards have to get up off of their crap too and be like, hey, there's going to be some changes. Harley Gwendon, for example, let it out to be known that anybody with any kind of motorcycle can join his club. Anybody with any kind of motorcycle.
Hey, China Doll is in the house.
Hey, what's up, China Doll? And there's going to be a lot of people out there who don't like it. It's only for Harley, only a Harley Davidson's blog. Hey, here's a guy whose name is Harley Davidson Gwendon, who says, in my club, you're going to ride anything you want to ride. I would rather you be my brother than exclude you as my brother because of the brand of motorcycle you're on. And everybody finds that like, oh my God, that's so cutting edge or something. But hell, Sonny Barger said, I wish we hadn't put such an emphasis in a motorcycle brand. That was silly. Later in his life, he was on a victory. So some of the stuff that they want to do is not all that crazy.
Didn't I hear from somebody, I don't know if it was on your show or something, but a lot of clubs are trying to get rid of Out Bad now.
It wasn't on my show, but they need to. They need to go to something else. It ain't working. It ain't working.
Yeah.
They've misused it. They've abused it. Nobody believes it anymore.
Yeah, because the next club would just pick you up. If you were Out Bad a while back, man, no clubs would touch you. Now it's like, come on over.
Yeah, because they misused it. They did like what my club did to me. Out Bad is for the set. No Contact is for the club. If you're such a bad piece of garbage, then the club puts you on No Contact.
Yeah, George talked about it.
Huh?
George Christie talked about it, they just said. George Christie talked about, how some clubs are going to where they're trying to get rid of Out Bad.
Yeah, because all you got to do is put somebody out of your club. Okay, we don't deal with him anymore. He's done. But just imagine, I mean, if you could lose a job and be blacklisted from your job forever, like is there some sort of a statute of limitations? A guy lied to a club 55 years ago. He can't be in a club now. I mean, it becomes rah-rah. I hate rah-rah stuff. I don't do any rah-rah. Rah-rah. I don't do rah-rah.
Well, you know what? I can't believe they put Pee-wee Out Bad, man. Pee-wee was hardcore, dude. He's hardcore to the bone. So is George Christie and a lot of the guys that they put out with him on Bad. It just don't make sense to me. It is what it is. They had that interdimensional crap going on with Christie because he called out Sonny, and
I guarantee you most of the guys putting you out bad came in the club after you did. They have no idea what you dedicated to the club, and they probably couldn't do it themselves if they wanted to.
No. Well, you look at George Christie, for example. The dude freaking went by himself into Full Outlaws and talked to Taco Bowman, of all people. Dude had some balls. And they did that to him. I couldn't see that, man, because he was for the peace. He's an expert witness now. BD, he works cases as well. And I'm just surprised, and I hope that they change that Out Bad stuff, because it is where it's like, come on, man, really?
How does George Christie die and not get a funeral after all the stuff he's done? How does he not get a funeral?
Oh my God, you're so correct on that.
And that's what Harley Gwendon said. My father dies and he doesn't get a funeral. Bullshit. I'm going to make sure he gets a Satan's Choice funeral. And
all they did was clubs, man. If you look at it, most guys don't even last 2 or 3 years in a club anymore. You're talking about guys that have 30, 40 years in. Now they're being put out bad by some young punk that, wasn't even alive when they were doing their thing.
37 years I put in the Black Sabbath Motorcycle Club. I die, I don't get a funeral? 37 years? You get put out by a guy that's been in the club 4 years? Yeah, they need to get rid of Out Bad. They need to.
Well, not to mention that the whole club got lost on the East Coast, man. That's pretty bad.
Yeah, it did. And they got lost 90% because all of the brothers turned in their patches. They turned them in. You going to do that to Black Dragon? Well, what are you going to do to me? Bye.
Well, that's exactly right, man. If somebody in a club sees something going bad, man, or you hear about, one thing I hated was when people would talk behind other people's backs. Is like, dude, you know what? You're supposed to be wearing the same patch. What the hell ain't you saying in front of them? Why ain't you bringing it to the table where the meeting where you're supposed to bring your stuff? And it's like, man, if that dude's gonna do it to this one, man, you know damn well he can't be trusted.
2 Cents said that's because back then, if you were out bad, you were a piece of defecation. Nowadays, it's just BS personal beefs. You're right.
Well, we had
the Pearl here. There's no such thing as out bad anymore. This generation doesn't even understand what it means.
Well, yeah, it used to be 3 things that got you thrown out in bad, and only 3 things, man. Stealing from the club, messing with somebody's old lady, and putting a needle in your arm. That was
putting a needle in your arm. Yeah. Oh, and snitching. And snitching.
Well, yeah. That's, yeah. But now it's like we had somebody in the chat room that said, he was out good. Then all of a sudden he makes a post on TikTok and they put him out on bad.
Yeah. Yeah, he said it over here on TikTok. They put him out bad after me. And Harley Gwendon said that as well. I left out good. And now after I'm out, now I'm out bad. Really, what should have happened is you should have gone on no contact. And you know about that. You've been there.
You know what? I would have to say, and people are going to get mad, that you'd find more loyalty in a street gang than you would an MC. You would find more loyalty there than you would in an MC. Just saying.
Yeah, I think some people would agree with you on that.
Because it's more of a life and death issue in that type of environment than an MC. And there's money all the time. So, yeah, there can be, problems on one end. But at the same time, hey, there's a mission out there. And, with the MCs, you're supposed to be about brotherhood. That's what the patch is for. That's why you run around with the patch. And I'm not trying to bang it, man. I was in a club and stuff. I always say I wasn't a good member. But, you got a patch on. You're supposed to show solidarity. And you got a guy talking, well, like what happened to you, guy, 4 years, you put your whole life into the damn thing.
And the crazy thing is, so Hollywood, what did they ever put me out bad for?
Hell, I don't even know.
And they came on your show.
Yeah.
They never once laid a charge.
They didn't even give you a trial because you probably would have beat them at the trial.
They accused me of trying to have a brother killed. They named 2 1% motorcycle clubs that were involved in this plot. Now, if I had been given a trial, those clubs would have had to come to the trial. And there were no way in hell they were going to do that.
Mm.
There were never any charges. There was just some clowns who got on YouTube and said, he's out bad. What he did, you're not allowed to do. He's done. And you're like, what did he do?
Well, Sinister's right. The Latin Kings are a different breed. Crips and Bloods, they're mostly West Coast. That's different.
They're on social media too. I see those guys on. What happened when Rick Ross was? Those street gangs made all those videos about what they were going to do to Rick Ross. You remember that? Maybe you don't remember that. Oh, it was horrible. Street crew after street crew was making whole music videos about what they were going to do to this guy. I was like, there's no.
Yeah, that's that gangster rap stuff. West Coast against East Coast stuff, man.
It's newer than that, bro. It's newer than that. There's no more West Coast versus East Coast gangster rap that I think. I don't think that's going on. Hasn't been going on in a decade.
Well, this is a hell of a show, guys. We really appreciate participation in it. We'll get it down on TikTok. I had people still following me on TikTok, so they must have been able to hear you. We're going to try to get it to where you can actually see both of us at the same time. It'll take us old guys some time to figure it out. We're not as, good as you younger
Well,
guys.
as soon as you load TikTok Studio down on your platform, you can do it like I am, because I actually have you and me up on the same platform talking. So I got you and me on TikTok over here, and then it's you and me in StreamYard over here. So it's actually working. As soon as you get TikTok Studio on, you'll be able to. But we got to figure out TikTok. I guess we definitely can't curse, and we got to figure out.
I got 3 restrictions already. I can't believe this. I didn't even say nothing.
Yeah, that's my fault. But I've been cursing a little on mine, so I didn't. But they finally came in and said we were bullying and harassing, and
right.
We have to appeal that, but it doesn't.
And you wonder why I really don't put much effort into TikTok, man.
Well, but TikTok is an excellent platform. You just got to play by their rules. That's all.
What rules are there, man? We weren't saying nothing that, would trigger something like that.
Obviously, we did. Richard says I wear a turban. I can be a biker. Now that's what the law says. Well, yeah, you can. You don't have to take it off.
You can't smoke on TikTok. Well, then you lost me.
Oh, maybe that. I think that might be it too.
Yeah, well, they're not going to tell me. I can say do some stuff, but you know what? TikTok, yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's an excellent platform, bro. Let's see. Is that right? Do they see that? Let me ask. I'm going to ask. Can you smoke on TikTok Live?
What's an alternative to out bad practice? Well, out bad ain't working as it is because it's been so watered down and stuff.
There it is. No smoking or the visible use of tobacco products is prohibited on TikTok. TikTok's community guidelines restrict the showing, possession, or use of tobacco products, including cigarettes, cigars, and e-cigarettes during the live streams. So you screwed up both of our live stream, bro.
Well, it happens. You ain't telling me that, man. I'm a grown-ass man. Sorry.
You won't have a TikTok Live platform.
Well, that happens. It happens. Anyway, that is the show. Don't forget, we got a bunch of shows that happen. I'm on at 9. I think Black Dragon's on at 10. That's Central Standard Time. We're also on at 8 with China Doll, and it's going to be a good time. We'll catch you later. One of these days, Black Dragon would actually give me some videos to play for his stuff instead of all mine. But talk to you later.
Welcome to 1990 Chicago, where trust is a trap and betrayal runs deep. The Betrayal Chronicles real-life book series by James Hollywood Machikari drags you into the middle of the biker underworld like never before. In Power and Betrayal, a kingpin rises and falls in a storm of drugs and deceit. Then Brotherhood and Betrayal throws you into a fight for loyalty where every choice bleeds. Get the Betrayal Chronicles series now with grit, guilt, and redemption on every page. Available on Amazon and everywhere books are sold.
Fire up your speakers for Throttle Radio, your 24/7 rock and metal station, delivering non-stop riffs and raw energy. Catch the Insanity Morning Show and more from the Insane Throttle Biker News family, plus the heaviest hits in rock and metal. Download the radio.net or online radio box apps on Google Play or the Apple App Store, or the new ThrottleRadio.com. Throttle Radio, where the road screams loud. Tune in now, 24/7 rock and metal.